Guys, so I'm going to go fast because this is a 15-minute presentation. It used to be 3 key insights, now it's some key insights because I don't have time to talk about 3. So if you want to hear about the 3rd, come find me after. Alright, so who can raise their hand and tell me what is programmatic? It's a rhetorical question, it's really awkward, like everybody starts screaming. But it's really not that easy to kind of sum up in one word. I mean, it's like all sorts of different things. So, you know, what is programmatic? How do we sum it up to me? It's all going to be automation, right? So let's think of a workflow. The workflow's got a lot of discrete steps, and each step has a certain requirement that needs to be completed until we move to the next one, kind of like basic project management. That's a workflow. How do we automate those stop action steps, right? So everybody close your eyes and think about the last time you got a cab. You know, did you go down to the concierge and be on that hotel, and it's in New York, like I need a taxi, you can call for me, I get in, how did I pay? Did I pull up my credit card? Did I dig through my pockets for change? No, of course you did, you called Uber. So I mean, Uber is the programmatic taxi platform, right? It's a great example of taking this traditional step-by-step workflow, automating it. Now, of course, we're not in Uber land, we're in marketing land. So our workflow is connecting a brand and consumer. How do we create some sort of a connection between a brand and their audience that has some sort of impact, hopefully makes them want to buy my stuff? Well, today, if I'm a CMO, there's all sorts of different people involved in this ecosystem. I've got my agency, I've got an ad network up there, I've got direct publisher relationships, and each one of these companies has discrete functional areas, all of which have their own head of X, head of Y. I've got to deal with every single one of them, and guess what? A lot of these functional areas overlap too, so it's an incredible amount of inefficiency. Now, how does that inefficiency materialize itself? Well, it's super expensive. How expensive? 20 cents of every dollar that goes into digital media gets spent on transaction overhead. That's ad server discrepancies, that's sales commissions, that's all the players in the landscape picking up the little piece of the pie. That number alone lacks context, let's compare it to TV, where it's only 2 cents of every dollar. So if we think of online media as a channel that converts a brand's investment into audience exposure, recall, favorability, the engine of TV is 10x more efficient than the engine of digital media. Now, this isn't a big surprise, that's why RTB is growing really quickly. 4x growth over 6 years. It's pretty decent. But, of course, everybody knows what programmatic is wired here. I'm kind of like preaching to the choir. So, I mean, what are the nuggets? What have I learned through my time at data analytics from SpotX, running all our buy-side relationships at SpotXchange? You know, first off, I hear a lot of discussion on KPIs. My CTR is too low. Good God, people still talk about CTR in video. It's true. My completed view rates aren't what I want them to be. My cost per point is too high. But there's very little discussion about why are you using the cost per point? Why are you using a completed view? So success is inherently in the eye of the beholder. And I think we could do a lot more focusing on why do we use the performance metrics we do. Also, we are so amped up about audience. I mean, it's like all about tracking the user no matter where they are. But content matters. Content adjacency matters. If you give a shit about your brand equity, then it matters where your ads appear. So digging into these in a little bit more depth, you know, when you start moving into programmatic, it's kind of like a blank slate. I mean, what should I optimize against? I used to buy on ad networks, I do some direct. Now there's this DSP thing, like what is good and what is bad. I'm probably going to anchor on what I've always done before. But that kind of misses out on the key value proposition of this programmatic thing. Machine learning. The machines actually are pretty damn smart. But we're so focused on optimization metrics that we don't really think about the business metrics. So what if you chose a business metric like lifetime value, average order size, and then we choose a signal like site visits, engagements, clicks, completed views. I mean, there's so many that we could use. And let's set up 2 campaigns and have the exact same inventory on campaign A and B and run it for 6 months. That's too long, 6 weeks. And see how average order value is impacted. You know, then we might be able to see which optimization metrics are the right one. Until somebody builds a DSP that's capable of holding an average order value and optimizing toward that, in which case let's talk, because that'd be pretty sick. Now in terms of context, where does the ad appear? You know, there are DSPs in the market that don't give site lists, that's cool, but if you don't give me site level reporting, then how do I even know where my ads appear? How do I know what kind of content experience my users are having? And more importantly, you're missing out on one of the biggest value propositions of programmatic direct, which is this new movement to transact programmatically, take advantage of the workflow efficiencies, but outside of an auction-based environment. Well, our customers that are most successful in PMPs, they take a lot of open market bid activity, and they see, okay, what websites is the bidder really wanting based on high bid volume, but win rates suck? Cool, who is that publisher? I'm going to go tell them I'm going to spend $200,000 with me if they drop their floors by half. So if you don't get the site level metrics, you're not going to be able to do any of that discovery. And that's it. So any questions?